Okay, so 1 second. Okay. Okay, I think we're ready. So the goal is, so we are going to do the get, the API, and the delete API, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what else? Get
And
update API.
Update, yes.
So there is anything we do, there is a 4 action. Of course, there is more. The get means the create, post, and the put, update, and the delete means we need to delete this. And then also get means we need to read this. So we only created the post. Now our plan to create 3 more APIs, 3 more user story, and then we will follow the same approach what we did last week. So without any delay, let's get it started. You can share the screen. Let me see. You can, right? Should be.
Yes, 1 second.
You can actually prepare your questions. You can ask the questions so that while we are writing the code, we will be actually answering your question as well. So quick recap. We are using the Marlin stack for the front end and the back end. And the database is we are using the MongoDB, NoSQL database. And we are using the Express.js framework for the back end, writing the business logic. That's the goal. So, okay, go ahead.
So everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just a quick recap of the thing that we're trying to build. So basically, so this is the front end, obviously. So in the homepage, when we get into this website, there will be like a form. So you basically enter the product details. So let's create a product, and then we will basically we can get like the URL for the image. So I'm gonna just get the image address, and I can like paste it in there, and then just set a price, category, and then set a brand, and then set the quantity and the description as well. So there will be like a submit button. So when we submit, we see that the product added successfully. That means the product was created successfully. And there will also be a button called view product. So if you click on it, we're going to see basically all the products that we have currently. So there will be like a details button. So if we click on it, basically we'll show you the image and the name of the product and the description, as well as the number of units that we have left in stock. So that's one. And we can also like edit the product. So when we click on edit, we have this modal that comes up, so we can basically edit any of the information here.
Yep. So that's the update, correct?
Yep, this is the update. So yep. When we save, it will say the product's updated successfully. So when we refresh, it basically changes all the information. And we could also delete as well. The product deleted successfully, we can delete it again. And this button basically takes you back home, takes you back to the landing page. Yes. So with that being said, we can basically, so if we want to recap really quickly what we did, so everyone can see the code.
Yes.
Okay. So just to recap really quickly what we did in the last session, we basically connected our MongoDB, and then we set up Cloudinary, which basically allows us to upload the picture, the image of the product.
Storage.
Yep, that's our storage. And in the controller folder is basically where we have all the business logic. So we have a file called product.js. This is where we have all the products, all the functions related to the method. So basically, so this function is for the create method, create function, basically, which allows us to create the actual product. This is what we have so far. And then in the models folder, this is where we define our schema. So this is our product schema. And then in the routes, we have, this is where we define our endpoints for the API. So in the /create endpoint, it basically, whatever logic we have in the create product function, it gets applied.
The
And
controller.
then, that's the controller. And then we have the server.js. This is where we basically set up everything. And we also implemented the Swagger as well. So as we keep on building APIs, we will also be updating the Swagger. So right now we will be basically creating the get function,
Yes.
the get method.
Mhm.
So for that, we can just start from, so I'll just close this. We can just go to the routes products.js, and then we could just do something like router, or we could just router.get, and we'll just have an endpoint of /. So this is going to be like our default route. And then we can basically name the function here. So I'm just going to give it a name, get products. So get products has not been created yet, so we're going to create it right now. So we're going to go to the product.js. This is where the controller functions are. So here we're going to do.
So we have two options. Are we going to create the get here also, or we are going to separate the JavaScript file? What is the best practice?
It's better to have like all the logic and all the products related logic in this file.
Okay, good to know.
So we can define the function here. So we can do get products. It's going to be an async function, and then we're going to do the request and the response there. And we're going to do the try catch block. This is basically for error handling. So we're going to create a variable called products, and we're going to do product.find. So this basically this is like a mongoose method. So this basically whatever we have in this database, it basically gets returned and gets stored in this products variable. So now we have to check if we have any products in the database or not. So we're going to check the products.length. We're basically checking if the products.length is 0 or not. If it is 0, that means there are no products. So we could just return a response letting the user know that there are no products.
Yeah, makes sense.
Else, that means there are products. So that means we're just going to return the products. So if there is an error, we're going to basically catch the error here. So we can just console.error. And then we're basically going to give out a message that says error fetching data, error fetching the products. And whatever the error is, we're just going to throw it out. And we're also going to set the status. Res.status, we're going to do a 500. And we're also, the message is going to be internal server error. So that's basically our get method. So now the fact that we just created this function, it's automatically getting exported here. So now we have to import from imported into this function, this file, my bad. So we're basically importing the get products from the controller file, and we have it here. And so yeah, so now we could basically try it out. So if we basically open our, can everyone see my Postman?
Yeah, we haven't written the Swagger yet, but before that we can try it out.
Okay, we could just try it out here. So,
yep.
And then
So user story is 149 or 239?
1 second. So
I can give you the number. So it is
but
238. User story is 238.
okay. So should we create the
Yes, collection, yes.
okay.
Yes. Go back to the Postman.
You guys can see my Postman, right?
Yes. Go to
Okay.
click new. Yep. So you should be able to collection. Yep. So 238. Rename it. Yeah, 238. View products. All right. Good. Now
And
you
then-
can do the same process. Create positive, create negative. We just designing the test. Under the view products. Under view products, then you will create the next.
okay.
You have to maintain the better hierarchy.
Add add request. So we can name it view products.
Hmm?
Okay, so we could just copy the URL from here.
Yep.
And the endpoint is basically just / and that's it. So first of all, we could just
So few things need to know. For the get, there will not be any request body. That's the reason we are not going to pass anything.
so first of all, we could just create some products first. Wait, I think is it running? It's not running yet.
Okay, so you need to make sure that your server is running.
So I'm on. So npm run server. And so now, so product is created successfully. So let's create some new product, some more products.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Because that's another product created, and let's just do one more.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have created 3 products here, and then in the view products request, so we make sure that it's a get, and since it's a get method, we don't have to send any body. If we do send here, so as you can see, we just got back an array of all the products.
Mm-hmm.
So and its information. So we just created 3 products, and we have 3 of them here. So that's basically, so we know that this is working. So now we can check if there are no products. Okay, no, we don't have the delete yet. So we can basically check it later after we create the delete function.
Yeah.
So so now we can basically update the Swagger. So we can go to the swagger-config file. Let's minimize this one. And so it's basically, this is where our paths are.
Mm-hmm.
So we can we could just basically put the new endpoint that we have here. So do products, and then put the comma here so that, and now, so this is a get.
Then we are defining the method.
Yes.
Then we are defining the tags.
And so we're going to do product and so we have to specify a summary, get a list of products
View all products.
or view all products. Okay. All products. And then in the description, we're going to do returns the list of products available.
Mhm.
And then for parameters, it's going to be nothing. It's gonna be like an empty array because it's a get method. We don't send anything in the body.
Mhm.
And then in the response, we're going to do, if it's a 200, the description will be it's a successful response.
Mhm.
Because 200 means successful. And if it's a 500, that means there was an error. So it's going to be, just copy this. So it means let's do internal server error. And that should be it. So we have to run our Swagger first in order for us to check it out. So let's kill this. So we're killing the port. Just give us like 1 minute, like less than like a couple seconds. Okay, there we go. So what we use to run the Swagger is we do npm run Swagger. So it's successful. Now we'll have to run the server. So now if we go to so it's a 4000 and I believe it's docs. So this is our Swagger. So in the last session we created just this one, the create. Now we just added products. So as you can see, it's the get method, so we don't need any parameters. So if we try it out, if we execute, basically this is basically our response. We get all the products that we have so far. So that's how we know that the our get method is working properly. So now we can basically move over to the
Delete.
Yeah, we can do delete. Okay, so you guys can see my screen again, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the delete function, so it's the same. It's pretty much so we have to go back to the controller folder, and then the product file. This is where all the business logic goes. So we can create a function called delete product, and we're exporting at the same time. So let's define the function first. So one thing to notice is that when we're going to delete a product, we have to. So this is the delete method, and so in the URL, basically in the endpoint, the user has to basically specify the ID of the product, like specify which product which product the seller wants to delete. So let's just specify it here so that it's easier to remember. So we're going to call it delete and colon product ID. So this is basically the parameter that the user is passing. So, and then we'll basically come back and update it here again. So this is basically what the user is passing. So we need this to basically identify which product we're trying to delete. So that's something to note. So we have created the function, and then now we're basically going to get the product, get the ID from the parameters. So we're going to do rec, which is request.params.product ID. So basically we're getting this from here. So we're just basically taking it and storing it into this variable called product ID. So if we do a try catch block, so we're going to check. So we're going to create a variable called product, and we're going to use Mongoose to basically find by ID and pass in the ID here. So this basically checks if the product that we're trying to delete is in the database or not, right? So if the product is not in the database, we cannot delete it because it doesn't exist. So we're going to see if there's no product. That's basically what this means. If there's no product, we're going to return a status of 400 or 404, and we're going to send a message of product not found, because it doesn't exist, so we cannot delete it. Else, we will just delete the product because we found it. So we can use delete one. And so otherwise, if there is an error, we're basically going to console the error, and we're going to send a message of error deleting product, and we can just pass the error there, semicolon, and we can also set the status 500 JSON, and then the message. Yep, the message to be internal server error. So we have the function created, so we can just, so it's already getting exported.
And I technically, like, and realistically should not use the 500 series, because 500 series is something exclusively server and services. It should be something the 400 series HTTP method.
So should I change it to 400?
Yes, 400.
Okay.
I have to look at it actually.
500 basically means okay, yeah, I think, yeah, 400.
400. Cannot
Okay, yeah, we could just, we'll change it to 400 here as well then.
Unauthorized. Not found, 404.
404, okay.
404 not found.
Okay.
Not internal server, you have to fix the wording.
Okay,
Not
so
product not found.
here,
Right?
okay.
That's the, oh no, what are you trying to
Sure.
do?
So I just changed the status.
What is the, okay, deleting a product, we did it. So
Yeah, if the product is not found, it's gonna get caught here.
okay, good. And what is this one?
This is basically if there's an error, we're it's sending out internal server error.
What type of error we can get it here?
Who knows? Maybe if the ID is if it's like kind of like if the ID is supposed to be 10 digits, and if the ID is,
Okay,
if
more
the ID
logic
fast
here.
is 2 digits, so I think this will be So should I change the message?
I think so. We can call the bad request.
Okay, the bad request.
A bad request. Because it shouldn't be. And if it is like the taking longer time, we should put it, the product is taking longer time, request time out.
Mhm. Okay, so now that that's fixed, so we were exporting the delete product function, and now we have to import it in this file in the routes, and then
Okay.
we're also going to update this as well. So this is gonna be delete. Let's not forget that.
Okay, so we are selecting the method. Okay.
Yep. So we can just do the we can just update the Swagger here, or should we
Either
try it
one.
out?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, let's just
whatever,
try it.
yeah, whatever developer prefers is it is their responsibility what they do. But the end user, the development team, they will always start with the Swagger.
Okay, let's do the Swagger
In the
then.
code review, that's the developer that reviews the code, make sure everything is up to the standard. Okay.
Okay, so let's just copy this. And we're basically going to and let's do delete
Okay.
and product ID.
We are passing the parameter. Okay.
And I'm gonna change this to delete. And this basically deletes a product. So, and let's change the description to deletes an existing product by its ID.
By its ID. Yep. We should be able to change this on the 500 as well.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
can
So
happen?
do 404 bad request.
Yes.
So we can change it on the other ones as well.
Sure. Yep. So.
Okay.
All right.
So we just restart the server. And first we should basically destroy whatever is running on that port, and then we can run it again.
Of course, you guys should know this. In the when it goes to like the staging or the production, you cannot do this, right? So it has to run continuously unless it fail uninterruptedly. That's the different thing. Then that's the when we will look into this. But typically, it has to run. It shouldn't be stop and start. Okay, so we got the Swagger here.
So we got the Swagger here, and as you can see, the delete endpoint. So basically, if we try it out,
you missed it because it should be like we have to pass the request body, and that's the way
I think I forgot to add the parameters.
you implemented only the get, so you have to add the parameters.
Yep, I forgot to add the parameters, so I'm going to add it here.
Copy and paste from the create product or something. Yeah, whatever.
So so the name we're going to give it a name of product ID in the path, and it is required. So let's do required true, and it's going to be a type string. And the description of this is going to be ID of the product to be deleted. And hopefully
ID of the existing product.
the existing product.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see if it got. Okay, yeah, it did get yeah, so as you can see, it got updated. So now we have to, if we want to try it out, we have to send the ID of the product. So we can, for that, we can do it from here.
Exactly. We run the get all the products ID. So we can see the ID is number 1 on the top of the hello.
Yep, this is the ID. So as you can see, we have 3 products. So let's say like we want to delete the Mercedes. So we can just copy the ID and just place it here. And then when we execute,
Should be request timeout because it's taking longer time.
Yep.
Why
So
it is taking longer time?
Something might be wrong.
Did you do anything with the database? Or do we have to do anything with the database? Just curious.
No, the database is working because we created products here. So, or maybe should it be a string? Let's try it out.
You have to refresh the browser.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. So instead of the okay. Oh,
Okay, yes. So okay,
that's hard, right? ID
okay, so it's a bad request.
Okay. So not found.
Yep, it's not found. Or let's try this. Let's try it again. Product not found. I think maybe was it deleted? Okay, it actually did get deleted, but
You got the fake message.
Yep. So let's see. Let's try to fix it really quickly.
Yep. So now go to the controller.
Okay, so we got the ID. And so that's the product ID, and then we're checking if the product exists or not. And then if the product does not exist, okay, we should basically, oh, okay, because we're not sending a message as a response. That's why we didn't see a message.
We did not define any message after the action.
Yep. So that's why we were confused. So
the action happened, but nobody knows. So messaging is important.
Product deleted successfully. Fully. And we should also send the status 200.
Okay. Yep.
Let's do okay. So let's refresh. So let's try it out. So let's try to delete the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 products right now. So try it out. And then execute. Product deleted successfully. Status code of 200. So now it's working. So if we we previously had 2 products. So if we try it out again. So as you can see now, we only have 1 product. So the delete is also working just the way we want it to. So now we only have 1 more API left to do.
Update, right?
Yep, that's update. So if we go to the routes. Okay, let's just do this one first. Okay, let's work on the controller first. So let's create a function for the updating. So basically, what this is we're going to have the existing product. We're going to have, it's going to be a patch request, and we're going to call it edit, and then we're basically going to pass the product ID as a parameter, just like we did with the delete endpoint. So it's going to be very similar. So, and we're going to call it edit product. So it's going to be the function that we're going to use for this. So we're going to import it here after we create it. Okay. So let's do exports dot edit product. Just define the function. So since an ID is getting passed in the parameter, just like in the delete function, we're going to extract the ID. So for that, we're going to do the request.params.product ID. Now we're going to try catch. So again, so the product that we're trying to delete, we have to make sure that the product exists. So we're going to check. So we're going to do product dot, we're going to find by ID. And so we're going to do product ID. And so this is going to be, the response is going to be stored in this variable. So now we're going to check if the product exists or not. So if the product does not exist, we're going to return the status. Do 404. And the message we're going to send is product not found. So so one more thing we can do is basically in this. So
Pratik, go ahead. Pratik, you raise your hand. You can unmute her. Pratik, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
No, I mistakenly clicked on the.
Okay, got it. So go ahead. Ayman, go ahead.
okay, so basically when we're editing the information of a product, we're going to be sending new information of the product, right? So there's going to be a lot of data that the user is sending in the request body. So we can basically destructure the all the variables, all the data out of the request body. So the way to do it is basically we take reg.body and we basically separate out all the information. So we might have name of the product, the image of the product, description, the price, the category, the brand, and the stock quantity. So this might seem familiar to you because this is what we defined in the in our schema.
Yep.
So this is basically the properties of the
Product.
of the product. Yes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. So that's basically all the data. So the thing about the patch request is like not all the data. So we have 7 properties of a product. but the user might only choose to change one of the details or two of the properties. So we have to check which ones are available, which ones are actually sent. So we have to check if the name exists. If it does, we're going to basically change the name of the product. So we're going to do product.name equals to name. And then we're going to check if the image exists or not. If the image exists, this is basically the new image, and this is also the new product. So we're going to do const. So we have to upload the new image to the cloudinary again. So the way to do it is we can just copy this. Just copy these two lines. Okay. Okay, so, and then the product dot image equals to the image URL. And now we're going to check if the user submitted any description. If the description, then we're going to do product dot description equals to description. So basically, we're going to have to do that for all of the fields.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm just going to run it really, really quickly. So and then we have to do the one for category. So the category is done. Now we have just two more left. Now we just have one more. So that's so now we've basically updated all the updated the product with all the new information. So after that is done, we're just going to save the product along with its new information. So we're just going to do save. And then we're going to set the response to 200. And we're going to send a message that product was updated successfully. And we're also going to basically print out the product. So, and then now, if there was an error, we can basically console the error, just like we've been doing. So there was an error updating the product. And the error, and we're going to do we're going to set the response, the status code to 404. And then message, so the message we can send bad request. So that's pretty much for the editing product. And then now let's see if our, okay, now we have to update the routes. Okay, so it's already there. So now we have to do the same thing. We have to update the Swagger as well now. So let's do that. So we can go to the config file. We can basically just copy, like we can just copy the create product because it's going to be similar. So now we just have to edit, we just have to update it. So this is going to be, so this is the edit endpoint along with the product ID. Product ID. So this is going to be a patch request. And this basically, this edits a product. And the description is basically edits an existing product with the provided details. And then the parameters is going to be basically, one second. Okay, so we have the image twice here, so that's why. Okay, so that should be it. So we can basically run the, take a look at our Swagger now. So as you can see, we have our, the endpoint for the patch request. So we can try to edit something. So let's look at all the products that we have. So we have these products, this only product that we have. So we are going to take the ID. Okay, so we also have to pass the ID here. So let's fix that. So it's going to be the same as the parameters in the delete. So and one second. Edit. Okay. So let me try to see the issue here.
What is the issues? We saw no parameters, right? On the
Yeah.
Swagger.
Yep. So let's see.
Because we need to update, so we need to see the whole schema there.
Name and the okay, let's see if this works. Okay.
Do the trade out.
So there seems to be this extra one. I don't know what this is. But one second, let's see. Product ID.
This is the update, right?
Yes, this is the update.
Update product ID.
Yep.
But I'm kind of in the lost because are we going to only update the product ID or we are going to update on that payload?
Oh no, we're not going to update the product ID. We're going to send the ID,
Okay.
and we're going to send all the payload,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
it's going to update.
Okay.
So
Then this is not done fully.
yeah, this is not done fully. So
Did the server crash?
no, the server is fine. Okay, we'll fix this patch request, but in the meantime, we can just test it on the Postman.
Okay. The Swagger part, yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. So there's an issue with the Swagger. There's an issue with the configuration. So
So you're going to the Postman.
yeah. So
I think 240.
240
I believe so.
and update products. And so
239.
239.
I'm changing to the
Okay, so
okay. It moved to the latest sprint.
positive test. And we're going to add request update product.
Mhm.
So patch, and then let's just copy the URL. So let's check the one second. Where's my code?
We have to pass the ID, right?
Yeah, we have to pass the ID. Okay, so let's take a look at the routes. So this is our route.
Yeah.
So in the ID, we're going to so if we check the products that we have right now, so we only have one product. So let's update this, and then that's the ID. And if we wanna, so this is basically the payload. Copy that, and then in the body, JSON. So we can basically change it to Samsung Galaxy iPhone. And then
Samsung Galaxy iPhone. How that
yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah, just to see like the like a significant change.
Mhm.
So if we send it,
I doubt it. It's going to work. Oh, it did work.
yeah, it did work. So product update successfully, Samsung Galaxy iPhone, and brand is Apple Samsung. So our endpoint is working.
Okay.
It's just I just messed up the Swagger.
So I got set up. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So so we haven't tested out the our delete request yet, so we can just do that. So
Delete is the user story is 240.
thank you. 240 deleting a product.
Yeah.
So we can add a folder, positive test, and let's add the request. So add deleting product.
Mhm.
So change the thing to delete, and
And then put
it's going to be similar to this,
Yeah.
but it's going to be delete. So say like we want to delete our
product.
so we only have one product, Samsung Galaxy. Let's say like we want to delete this, so let's just copy the ID. We have it here, and if we send it, we see that the product has been deleted successfully. So
Done again, send again, send
again, so now if we send it again, product not found.
Yep. So our both messages the verified to follow the controller message, right?
Yes.
If we pass it's a negative testing. If we pass the wrong ID, then it will be okay.
Yeah. Should we do the negative testing?
Well, we already deleted it. Yes.
Yeah, we already did it. Yeah.
So if we actually run a scenario for this, how the design will be, the first of all will be the creating product or products, and then I want to update that products. Of course, I have to view the products, and from the view the products, I will be actually storing a product ID to the environment variable, and I will pass that variable into the update the product list, and then finally I'm actually going to delete that product. So the whole 4 things equal to a like the automated test scenario. Simple as this. So if you have more and more, means you are actually based on my understanding, I have to create it. Then my goal is after I create, I want to see what I created, and I want to store a product ID on the table, environment variables, and then I will actually update that product. So I will be actually passing that on the body of the update, as he just did it. URL will be the ID, product ID, and the body of whatever I want to change. And so I will run it, verify it, it's good. And finally, I'm going to delete it. The same process, same product I will be deleting. I'll be passing the product ID into the URL, delete URL, and then actually finally it will be deleted. So that's actually from the beginning to the end, and it is called the whole scenario, and we can easily do the automation on it. Okay, any question from anyone? Very good. Except all right, so that's the part of the whole Postman or the backend. The development is done. So now we have to go to the front end development, which is the HTML, CSS. Just design the interface and the beautify the interface, and finally we have to consume each of the API on the front end, and then we'll be actually sending the data from the front end instead of from the back end. Okay.
Yes. So with that being said, we can just get started on the front end.
Yes.
So for that, we'll have to create a new code base for that.
Can you please push this code? Go push it, and then we are done for the
Okay.
back. I'll push it to the same Git.
Yes, I can do that.
So we'll have another code base for the front end because back end is done. Because now if he doesn't push this, all the code will be older code. So it means it's not going to work, right?
Yep. So Git. So yeah, so I just pushed it.
The same repository has been shared last week. That repository has been updated. Today's update, delete, and get the code base, and it is only the backend code base. So if you guys go look at that code base, you will see just updated 1 minute ago. Okay, this part is done. We can close it and go to the front end.
Yes. So we can basically so we're going to start the front end part of things now. So I have a new window of VS Code open. So I'll just create a new folder. Okay, actually, we have to use terminal to create. So we're gonna use a Next.js. So we have to use the terminal to create the app. So npx create next.
So in the front end, we are going to actually use the Node, what is it called?
Next.js.
Next.js framework to consume the API.
Yes.
The reason we use the Next.js, there is multiple reasons. One of the reason is the web application is not. Whenever you consume the API, it is not the website anymore. It becomes the web application. So a web application need to be SEO user friendly. Means SEO means search engine optimization. Okay. So one of the benefits of the Next.js is it is search engine optimization, so that the Google or all the the search engine can actually track the website behavior. I don't think the React will support it. That's the reason we are using the Next.js. Pratik, am I right? I hope I still remember what I said.
Yes, you're right.
So what we did actually, basically in the TS4U, right, website, in the beginning we did the React.js, and then when our SEO came and they said, well, our Google is not able to do much with our website. What happened? And we found out, well, React doesn't work. So we had to implement the Next.js, which is working on top of the React.js. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the reason he has done that. So I wanted to make sure you guys know this. So you have to create an app, right? Front-end application. That's what I have done that.
Yep. We just opened it right now. So so for the we have to install some packages.
So again, it's like exactly like the backend. So we are going to this for the front end. So now everything is empty, right? So now all the way.
There are some default packages, default dependencies that we have. So we're going to install some other ones. So let's install. We're going to use ant design.
As you mentioned, you can website you can design two way. Either custom design, you are writing everything from the scratch. Another is you can use some of the framework. And design is one of the framework that you can use to build all the elements on the website. So that's what we're going to do, so we can get it done faster.
So we also have Axios, which is like it's like a library that allows you to make some API calls. We're going to need that later when we are integrating the front end to the back end, and this is the Sass is what we're going to. Yep. Go ahead.
So we are installing now, but remember, if you just build the front end and the beautify your front end, it is not going to work. So for the Node.js that you call the backend API, you have to use the Axios library. So that library actually you are consuming the backend API. Am I right? Did I say it right?
Yes, you are. Yeah, you said it right.
Okay. So that's the reason he is installing that. Just we are preparing the environment now for the front end. So it will be combination of the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and plus all the outside libraries that will be required to not only develop the front end and also consume the backend API. So we are using the port 3000, which is empty, the 3001. Okay. So remember, if a port is busy by another application, then you have to use the different application. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is like the default page that we get. So so that we know that we were able to create it successfully.
So it means the
Oops.
setup is working just fine, right? Now we have to start the writing the code.
Yes. Okay, so now what we can do is so whatever you see here is basically in our index.js file. This is basically all the code for that, so we don't really need it, so we can just delete all of it. And we can also delete this. And we're not going to use any of these either, so let's just get rid of it.
So what is the purpose of the index.js? If you can just 10 seconds.
Yes, sure. So basically, this is basically the landing page of the website. So if I do something like, so it's returning hello world. So this is the index.js, right? And if this is basically the landing page. So as you can see, whatever I write here is basically being rendered here.
Yep, understood.
So this is going to be our main homepage, basically. And in the styles folder, we have some default style files, so we can just delete them. These are CSS files. We can just delete them. And what else? We're going to create a new file called main.scss. SCSS is basically the file extension for Sass. That's what we're going to use. It's like an CSS extension, basically. So the style files for all the other components, we're going to
so
import it here.
If you guys see that we put the file index.js, basically in this file we are going to write the JavaScript and the HTML. Am I right?
No, we're not going to write JavaScript in this
file. No, the index.js.
Oh yeah, we're going to write both here. Yes, you're right.
So JavaScript is some of the very cool things is in the JS file, you can write the HTML and actually the JavaScript, means your programming code. That's the reason you do not see the HTML file, because we are going to take care of through the index.js. Can we call it any name, or it has to be like this, that name, index.js?
Index.js is like the conventions. So this is what, yeah, so we have to call it index.
Understood, okay.
Okay. So basically let's create a folder called components.
Yeah.
This is basically where all the components are going to be. So as you remember, in the main page of the website, we had a form. So we're going to create a component for that in this file. So we're going to call it my form.
Okay.
So inside the my form, we're going to create the boilerplate. So this is like a function. And we're going to import some stuff. We're going to import some components from the end design. So let's import the input, the
so
select.
If you remember, we have installed in the Ant design library, the package, whatever you call it. Again, Ant design is one of the you want to build a website. The web component, all the elements faster. So instead of you're writing from the scratch, you're just using the third party, like the Ant design, or there is other design, but we are using the Ant design.
Yes. So we can also we're also going to use the router. So use router basically allows us to like redirect users from one page to another. So we'll see how to do it. So we're going to use that. So basically, usually, so here in the return is basically where we write all the HTML and CSS. So at the top of the page, we're going to have a heading tag where we're going to write enter product details. And we can also have another div box, which basically give it a label of product name. And here we're going to have the input field. So it's a self-closing tag. So, and then, so we're going to have a placeholder which says enter name of product.
So in the website, every section you can call a division, right? It's called the div.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So div means division in the section, I would say, I guess.
So I should show you what we're trying to create again so that you can
exactly you can
follow along.
visualize. Yep.
So this is basically what we're replicating now. So this is a heading tag. So which is basically goes here in the H1 tag. We will apply stylings later. And so as you can see here, we have a label, a lot of labels here, and then we have the input fields here, right? So this input field, all of these input fields are basically the components from end design, whatever we're importing here.
Got it.
So, yep, so we have the product name. This is a label, this is a label. That's basically what we're gonna do. This is basically what we're doing here. And we're gonna do the same thing a couple times. So this is gonna be the image you.
Then we'll make the changes.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Image URL. And this is going to be the enter. Also, the placeholder is basically whenever you go to like an input field, you see the text here. That's basically called a placeholder. So we can specify it in the inputs.
That's called like a user-friendly UI. That's part of the UI UX requirements and the user experience requirements. Also, that's part of called the accessibility testing requirements.
Yep.
So you're helping the user just by default what they have to do here. So now you have to be like a design part.
Okay, so far it's not done yet. So let's see what it actually looks like. So if we go to this one, if we hit refresh, okay, I think it's not running. So it's okay. So run dev. Okay, we're not importing it yet. That's fine. So let's just import it and see what it looks like. So here we're exporting. So this component, we're creating it here and we're exporting it. Now we have to import it. Import my form. And here we have to specify. Okay. Now if we refresh, as you can see, this is basically, we have everything that we've specified in the my form component. And this might not look exactly the way it looks here because we haven't done any of the styling yet. We're basically writing the HTML here. That's basically that's how you create the actual structure, but with CSS or Sass, that's how you style it. So, okay, so let's keep on moving. So here in the div, let's give it a label of category. We're using the same, the and design component, which is the select. Select is basically the drop down menu. This is called the select tag. So we're basically going to specify all the properties here. So we're going to give it a placeholder of select category. Let's give it a name. We can do the name later. And we're going to give it an option of give the value of electronics and a label of electronics. This is actually going to be in curly braces. So we're gonna have a little bit more options. So options is basically whatever, when you click on the select, these are basically the options. So we're basically specifying the options here. So equals and do sportswear. So if we take a look, so this is basically, so our options are working fine, and this might not look the way we wanted it to, but we will fix it soon. So also we're going to have the one for the brand. The one for the quantity. And the one for the description. So for the description, we're going to use the text area instead of the actual input, because if you look back, so as you can see, the text area is actually a little bit bigger. It's meant for a lot of text compared to the input fields. So we have the text area, enter description, and let's give rows 4, and that's pretty much it. And then we're also going to add some buttons here. So let's add the buttons. So the text is going to be submit, the submit button. Let's give it a type of primary. These are basically built-in and design features, like properties. So let's give it a break line. And here is basically we're going to have the button for the viewing the products. So far, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we can also apply styles inline. This is called inline CSS. So let's give it a margin top of 10 pixels. Let's go to background color of green, and a border border color green as well. So this is what it looks like now. And so now we can basically start the designing. So we can give it a class name of input fields. And one second. So as you all remember, we created the style. We already have the styles folder. So we're going to create another folder called components inside the styles folder. So this is basically for, so one way we can do it is that we might have like multiple components. So we might have, so it might be a good idea to have like multiple style sheets for each component so that it looks, so that the code is basically more organized. So we can create the style sheet for the form, and we can also import it here. Import. So we have to use the @ components and the form, and make sure that this main.css is imported here, so that whatever styles we have in the main.css gets applied to the entire web application and like the front end part of it. So basically now we can start styling. So we created the class. So basically, if you notice, so we created a class named input fields. So we basically gave this entire div box a name of input fields. So now we're basically doing dot input fields. We're basically targeting that specific div box, and now we're basically going to give apply styling to it. So we can give it a width of 35%, and then margin auto to make sure we have equal margin on all sides. Give it a padding of 20 pixels. Have a border radius of about 5 pixels, and give it a box shadow. Box shadow is basically, if you notice around the borders, there's some shadows here. So that's basically what box shadow is. So let's give it a box shadow of RGBA. Zero pixels, 4 pixels, and 12 pixels. And so when I do div, this basically targets every single div that's inside the input fields. So I'm targeting all of the div boxes inside. So let's give it a margin bottom of 10 pixels. So as you can see, this is what it looks like so far. Very similar to what we had previously. So we can also make a little bit more adjustments. So basically, for the h1 tag, we can apply some inline CSS. Give it a text align to make the h1 tag centered. So and as you can see, this got centered. And what else can we do? Okay, as you can see, the selector for the category is kind of like, this is not the way we want it to be. So we can basically fix that. So we go into the select tag, and we can basically give it a style. This is basically inline CSS as well. Give it a width property of 100%. This should be in curly brace, quotation marks. So as you can see, this is basically, so this takes up the entire width now. So that's pretty much it for the landing page, at least the design wise. Because this doesn't really do anything. So we can add some, so what we want is when we click on the view products, we want the user to be redirected to a different page. So we can make that happen now. So
we are just designing all the pages. We are not implementing any API.
Yep.
Consuming any API.
Yeah. So, okay. So we can do on click. And basically create an arrow function, router.push to /products. And we don't have /products created yet, so we're going to create that right now. So let's just create it real quickly, and then I'll explain what this means. So in the pages, we're going to go and create a new folder called products. And inside the products, we're going to create a new file called index.js. And here, so this is basically the boilerplate. And we can name it products. And just to make sure that it's working, we can basically give it a message of welcome to the products page. And we can also input the button so that we can go back to the home page. So we don't need these for now. So, and then here, we can just create the, oh my God, it's actually a button. We can just create a button and go home. And then we're also going to need the router as well. And so we need this as well. And okay, so basically what we're going to do is when is it, yeah, it's supposed to be routed. Okay, so when view products button gets clicked, so on click, it's going to basically push to this route. So it's basically our /products route. So if we try it out, so this is what we have here. So if we go to view products, okay, so there's an issue here. What is the issue here? Okay. Okay, so now it's working. So let's just create the on click here really quick. So okay. So let's just start from the beginning again. So we implemented the on click on the view products button. So when we click on the view products, it's going to take us to the /products page. So notice how the name here, products, is exactly the same as the name of the folder. So the index.js on each product, on each of the folder is basically the landing page for the folder, if that makes sense. So when we are being routed to the slash products, we're basically ending up here on this page. And we have a button here that says go home. We're pushing it to the home page, which is going to be the index.js, which is like our main page. So if we click on go home, it's going to take us back to the form, basically. Yep. So for today, we can end it here. Actually, we created the main landing page, which is the form, and we put some designs on it. Like these are some very simple designs.
Yep.
And we basically now know how to create the button functionalities, at least how to redirect the users.
Yep.
And in the next workshop, we're going to basically create the other pages. And then if we have time, we're going to basically implement the integration.
Yep, we are going to consume the API, and then we will be testing from the front end. Then we'll be verifying on the back end, and then looking into the database, make sure the data is storing as expected, right?
Yep.
How long
exactly.
it take next week?
2 hours. We'll aim for it. We'll try to aim for it within time.
Okay. Then the following week will be the implementation of the AWS. Everybody is using the Dockerize. We'll be implementing this. All right, sounds good. Do you guys have any question? Very nice. We made the good progress so far. Any question from anyone? I can unmute everybody. You guys can talk. All the coding piece, the HTML, CSS, what is this called, the JavaScript, that's exclusively for the Stack student. The way they maintain through the Agile LM, that's the work standard, the structure, how to start something. Then update, that's the project management product owner. The testing part, of course, that's for everybody. Like tried out the developer, you saw that. And then of course the deep dive testing will be performed by the QA, and the deployment portion will go to the DevOps engineer. And if the position is separated, so you can say the front end and the API consumption will be by the front end developer, and back end developer just writes the logic. So that's the two separate positions. If you want to separate more positions, then the UI UX designer will be different, the front end developer will be different, back end developer is different. It means the 3 positions. Okay, so it all depends how the company to company what they implement. For us, we have a different UI UX designer, we have a different graphic designer, we have a different SEO, we have different front end developer, we have everything different, right? So it all depends how each project they run their team to develop and implement the application from the end-to-end perspective point of views. Okay, so that's the summarize. So let's meet next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So next Monday will be very exciting. Completing the front-end development, consuming the API, and then actually perform the testing. At the same time, we are going to verify from the Chrome developer tools, because we have to verify and then make sure the API is consumed, endpoint is consumed as expected. So it means it will be, each of the dot will be connected, and then you can verify. And then last part will be deployment on the AWS cloud. So this the whole thing's part of our MERN coding bootcamp. So again, and the everything start with the coding, the digital version, but the initially is the user story, which is the product creation, product update, product delete, and this is stored in the project management, as you saw, and the development framework is Agile Scrum. So it means so many things are used, implement, and all the dots are connected to actually build something in the software development team. So I hope it helps you. You can write down the questions. This is already on my Facebook page. You can watch. I'm expecting you write more questions is better because each of the word has been mentioned very precisely. So if you do not understand, if you are trying to say your way, you will break the sequence, or you will be just saying something which does not make sense. So try to understand in a way that it makes sense. And this is one of the best way to do something, and then you should be able to say it properly. That's the end outcome. All right, I do not have anything else to say. Thank you very much for joining, and